It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we've got the latest chapter of a historic rivalry. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, and it's kicking off next on Madden NFL 25.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Two hard-hitting blue-collar franchises, one of the better rivalries going. The Ravens and Steelers are underway. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Number 8, Lamar Jackson, trotting onto the field at quarterback, ready to lead this Ravens offense.
Early part of his career, defenses really had to focus on his running ability, and they still do. But now, he's turned himself into a true dual-threat quarterback. When he plants his cleats in the ground and turns it loose, good things happen downfield.
Call it no gain on the game's first play, and it's second down now.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football, and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
The tight end in motion right. They snap it at 1. Now it's Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
They'll bring the tight end in motion right. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on third.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy who can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
From the gun, Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and it'll be second down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
Now a second and 10. Here's Jackson. He'll go right back to Andrews. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his third completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And the top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
And he will have a Ravens first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6. And he remains perfect on this opening drive. Charles now 5 of 5 and another first down to work with.
He's like one of those great shooters in basketball that has his rhythm, has his confidence, and he doesn't think anything is going to miss right now. As far as he's concerned, he's going to be perfect the entire game, and who's to say that it won't happen the way he's throwing it right now.
And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up. From the 38 now, here's second down and 7. Again, it's Henry. And they get him behind the line, so that short gain on first down quickly negated. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
Sometimes you get all those big guys down there in one spot, and there's just nowhere to go. And in this case, the defensive tackle used his strength and swallowed him up.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on third. They just do get the play off as he'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So 2 third-down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a third, and now they deal with fourth down.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. Under center is a 6'2", 225-pound signal caller, Aaron Rodgers.
There have been very few quarterbacks in the NFL who have been as consistent throughout their career as Aaron Rodgers. He's been good for so long, and we've seen no decline in his skills. His accuracy and arm strength continue to elevate the talent around him, and his in-game mistakes, few and far between.
Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. Now run straight ahead with Warren, and he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down, then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. From the gun on third down, Rodgers. And that will be incomplete. Chidobe Awuzie there to make the play in coverage.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away. It's taken to the 26. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9. Jackson, options out left. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Really good effort. He does it himself, picks up 15, also picks up the first down.
Pretty nice play here. They go read option, read the defensive end, and when he collapsed down inside, how about the quarterback pulling it, keeping it, and not only getting to the second level, but picking up some really nice yardage.
Very, very well read. In motion left, Flowers. And that flag accepted.
Still first down.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Following the penalty, it's Hill. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Henry up the middle, and he'll be tackled at the 45 following a gain of just 2.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
The Steelers now in the nickel here on third down. Jackson now. Now the ball comes loose, and it's picked up by the Steelers. Still going inside the 20, and he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. And that's a linebacker showing he can move pretty good with a football in his hand.
That's not just a short shuttle now. He took it and went a pretty good distance, didn't he? Did you get the 40 time on that?
I didn't, but he got 6 points out of it. I know that, in a great play for that defensive unit. Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And he'll put it through to make it 7-0 Steelers. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. It's their third drive now, and so far we've seen a punt. In that second drive, CD, they turned the ball over, so not the start that they were envisioning.
Yeah, they've been ineffective so far, but look, they've worked on a game plan all week long. Don't get away from it too soon. Find a way to get some significant gains, loosen up, get going, and then they should be okay the rest of the way.
Isaiah Likely the target that time, but it's going to be second down. Now it's Jackson. Now throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
Well, after incompletions on first and second down, it certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on third down.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Jackson. A short one there, caught by Likely. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. A short throw caught by Andrews. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's second down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
His first catch, good for 8 and a first down. That was a lightning-fast decision that time. He just caught it and got rid of it.
Because he saw his guy was going to be open immediately. So he took the R, the run, out of the play. He took the O, the option, out of the play, and immediately got to the pass.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Again, Jackson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10. From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd and 5. Off the option, here's Henry. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down. Off the option, here's Henry. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right. On a delay of game there, they could not get the playoff in time.
Frustrating for the head coach, frustrating for the offense. Sometimes you have to get the play call in a little bit quicker.
To throw is Jackson. And he'll get this underneath to Henry. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession. They're 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive. This one tough. They need 9 yards on 3rd down. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. Here's Jackson to throw. A short one there, caught by Likely. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 11 more yards there, and this methodical drive continues.
Zone coverage here defensively. They're going to let their tight end run a drag across the field. This is where a linebacker gets forced to pass him off. That time, the receiver gets lost a little bit, and he's able to make the catch and pick up good yardage and a first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. In motion left, Flowers. So a penalty that can frustrate a coach so much, a mental error, and it'll back him up 5 yards. Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. Alex Highsmith gets him for a loss of 5. He is so tough to handle on the blitz, and that's Exhibit A. And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
As expected, he's gone to him several times in this game, but that's the first time one has slipped from his grasp. I'll bet he goes back to him, though. He's an excellent player.
The Ravens on third down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This will be 3rd and a mile. Now it's Jackson. And this is going to be incomplete. The Steeler defense locked in, forcing an upcoming 4th down.
And that drive is going pretty darn well. 3 previous times, converted on 3rd down. But on that one, the defense rose up and said, enough of that.
So 4th down coming up. John Harbaugh will send on the field goal unit. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And this one is right down the middle. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the third drive's the charm. They are on the board, albeit with just a field goal.
Yeah, 3 points from 3 drives. That's not going to win you a whole lot of football games. Hopefully the fact they were able to move the ball a little bit can wake up their offense.
Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too. Sometimes I think these defensive tackles get a little bit of a bum rap. We just see them as big guys that eat up blockers for others to make tackles. Oftentimes they're quicker than they get credit for. And this time he uses quickness to make a play.
Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. And that's good for a gain of 6. 3rd and 7 now. To throw, it's Rodgers. Able to get away. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. He opted to go with his scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th. On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. "47-yard punt, a return of 4. And out will come the offense as they take over. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. 2nd and a couple. Inside handoff, Henry. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Now Jackson. DeAndre Hopkins making the catch. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. Jackson options out left. And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, they have had success when he keeps the ball in the option, but not there. I mean, you just saw exactly why many old NFL coaches would say, don't use your quarterback in the running game.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Throwing is Jackson. Throw right side here, taken in by Bateman. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. Play clock all the way to 0. Didn't get the snap off. 5-yard penalty.
And you see the head coach writing that note on his play sheet right now. He's going to be addressing that with his staff. A sense of urgency. Get to the line of scrimmage. Snap the ball.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by Brandon Eccles. And the Steelers are going to take over here up near the 40. So the ball changing hands on the interception, but meanwhile here we do have an injury on the play. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. It's been an awfully slow start for them. This is their 3rd possession. They don't have a first down yet.
So that means they have to change up what they're doing, and for some teams, it's a change in tempo, usually moving it to more up-tempo type of an offense just to try and change their fortunes right now. What they've been doing so far isn't working. Maybe they'll do that.
From the 41, here's a 2nd and 7. A handoff for Warren. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now Rodgers. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Pretty heavy traffic over the middle on that one, and somehow he emerged with the football. Way to possess it despite all the extra contact and people around him.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. He'll get it here on the jet sweep. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. Now 2nd and 3. On the give, it's Warren. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run it. Warren. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
And out of bounds right around the 20. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. This is caught. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Oh, nice job there putting the ball right on the doorstep of the goal line. Couldn't quite get in to pay dirt, but he got awfully close. Let's see if they can cash it in over the next couple of plays.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Rodgers now to throw. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. DK Metcalf. A 1-yard touchdown reception as his guys are able to extend their lead.
First and goal, forget running the football, forget establishing anything. Just put it in the end zone with the pass for a touchdown.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's the definition of catching the defense off guard there. They weren't expecting that.
And that totally goes against type, doesn't it? When you think first and goal from the 1, you're thinking running play.
Boswell for the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
Throwing again on second down. Jackson. And this is into the hands of Andrews downfield. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, 71 yards. And the Ravens are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call. But he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And he's got it. That cuts the lead. It's now 14-10. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. And able to get this out to the 25. Aaron Rodgers in the offense heading back out. The previous drive, he had the touchdown throw to DK Metcalf. Time to see what they can do here. 1st and 10 now. Throwing is Rodgers. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now it's Rodgers. A short one there to Freiermuth. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Here's Rodgers to throw. And here's Freiermuth again. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Here now, 2nd and 4. And again, it's Rodgers. They'll get this complete to Calvin Austin. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 35. That one good for 16 as the drive continues.
Boy, everything clicking on this drive. He's 4 for 4 now, and that throw, maybe the best of the bunch. This offense is really humming, and they pick up another first down.
Throw left side complete. That's Warren. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Behind the chain, 2nd and 12. Rodgers going to throw. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
The coverage was good, but I just wonder if they absolutely fooled the quarterback on that play. I think he was expecting something else, ended up with nowhere to throw the football successfully.
Rodgers to throw once more. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Nnamdi Madubuike in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. A 3rd and long, you knew that he was going to throw it. He just couldn't find anybody to throw it to.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have been a surprise, but that was perfect execution of their nickel defense. That 5th defensive back, the extra defender, he really tightened up things downfield in coverage, and they were able to get to him in the pocket.
So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
This has certainly been a fun one to watch so far. We knew this was going to be a battle, and we have not been disappointed. This is the kind of game that could wind up hinging on which side can play mistake-free football the rest of the way.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. The Steeler offense ready to get going to begin this third quarter. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively, just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. Here's a 2nd and 5. Throwing now is Rodgers. And his throw here's incomplete.
He already came through for them on this drive. No surprise that they were hoping he could do it again.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Here's Rodgers. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Here's Warren. Oh, he sheds himself free. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Right back to him on first down. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Now Rodgers. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Now a run with Warren. Stays on his feet. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. 8 yards on the run there, and that trims it to a 3rd and 11 coming up.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
On the run, it's Warren. And a good tackle there right around the 30. Stops him short of the first down. Give him 8 yards on the carry, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. This will be spotted at the 37, so it's a 47-yard attempt. Boswell's kick is good, and that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. So a good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or, in this case, a field goal.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. The Ravens offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets. And it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. In motion goes the tight end. Throwing on second and long. Jackson. They set up the screen for Henry. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at third down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
3rd and 4. Jackson. That's complete to the rookie from Colorado. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
And maybe that touchdown on the previous drive has re-energized this offense a little bit. They've been kind of sluggish until then, but they're showing signs of life here, and they get good yardage that time and a first down.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Off the option, here's Henry. And down to the 41. They'll come up 2nd and 7. They snap it at 1. Now it's Jackson. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. That's complete to his receiver, Bateman. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. They'll run it out of the gun with Hill. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Henry. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. They go play action now. Jackson crossing route. He finds Likely. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
That's a good-looking play to me. The big tight end on a crossing route coming underneath. Sometimes he can gain some serious momentum going forward, can't he?
Yeah, he can indeed, and pretty well executed there. To throw is Jackson. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Brandon, some of those windows to throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB, I liked it closer to the goal line. Tighter windows made it easier to cover people, actually.
And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed, he did not. They stop him. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. And a design QB run in that spot, maybe trying to catch the defense off guard a bit. It didn't work, though.
Again, we're seeing that college influence come into the NFL. Quarterback run game on fourth down. We didn't see that very much in the previous years in the NFL.
No, seeing it more, saw it there, did not work out. Turnover on downs. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now a handoff up the middle. Warren. Well, that gives him a little room, but not much. A gain of 2 to the 5. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on third down. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Warren. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
And that last penalty makes this third down play a little more interesting. 3rd and 5. To throw is Rodgers. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big third down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. A 46-yard punt, 4-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The home team's offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. Defensively, they were in the 3-4. That O-line just dominated the D-line there.
Let's go with a verbal telestrator here, because that D-line has a nose over the center, and it has the 2 defensive ends over the offensive tackles. That means the guards don't have anyone over the top of them. That creates a natural bubble inside where they sprint upfield, take on the inside linebackers. If the back hits it fast enough, there should be space to run.
Now, he'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. From the 35, here's 2nd and 3. They run off tackle right with Hill. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
Play action. Now Jackson. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Nick Herbig with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7.
Even keeping the back in for extra protection on 3rd down, they still couldn't prevent the sack. Now it's 4th and long thanks to a terrific individual effort on defense.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag, punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Before they can snap it, time runs out on this third quarter of play. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. It's Steeler football, and they have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4. Johnson running left. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
Now that's a nice play. Got me fired up, partner. But can they do it back-to-back plays? All the training that you go through as a defense for these situations, when you have to get the ball back, everything you go through, holding up the runner, raking at the football, getting to the passer, knocking it out of his hands, whatever way, they have to get the ball back.
Now can they stand tall again for a huge fourth quarter stop? Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Good, strong run against the 3-4 set. And that 3-4, you've got to have your guys up front eat up a lot of blocks. The guy playing over the center, the nose, he usually has to take on double teams. But when you're able to successfully move him, you're often able to get some yardage. And that's when linebackers have to clean up and make tackles.
And this is going to be pulled in by the tight end, Andrews. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. A gain there of 21 yards.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, 1-score game. 1st and 10 here. Off the option, here's Henry. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Here's Jackson. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Jackson. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 31-yard line. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route, It's extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is, because more and more tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
Play clock hit 0. Don't know what went wrong there, Charles, but it's going to cost them 5 yards.
Has to be some organization from the sideline. Sometimes when you're trying to decide on what play to send in, the play caller has to move a little bit faster.
Now it's Jackson. And that went to the right side and incomplete.
I like his awareness in the pocket there. Nowhere to go with the football. So instead of forcing it to the sideline, he's just going to put this one into the harbor and live to fight another down without getting wet.
2nd and 15. The tight end in motion right. Throwing is Jackson. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Jackson now. On target to his man, Likely. That'll give him 8 that time. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Here's Jackson to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Getting in there and knocking that away was Brandon Eccles.
Some coaches like to take the shorter, more reliable yardage, and some, they like to go for the big shot. No fear in risking a deep ball there, but it wasn't enough to get them the completion.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to kick it away. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. And now out come the Steelers. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped them there, but not to be.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Now Rodgers. This one finds Austin out right. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Here's Rodgers to throw. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now 4th down.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started. And that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty. And before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. The Ravens offense and Lamar Jackson set to take over once again. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes. And he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there. And now it's 2nd down. In motion left, Flowers. Now they'll fake the jet sweep and run up the middle with Henry. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on third down. Big boys down there in the trenches and a nice play to stop them cold. Nothing there.
Yeah, when you talk about big boys, you're talking about those defensive tackles, those nose tackles. They're not just big, they're immense, and what a big-time play there.
From the gun on third down, Jackson fighting through pressure. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11.
I know I'm supposed to do the analysis here, but I've got to ask, how did he stay alive that long in the pocket?
Yeah, great footwork, which we know he has. If he would have been able to stay alive, get rid of the ball, or run for some yardage, we would have had a very unhappy defensive coordinator, I believe.
No doubt about that.
The Ravens send their punter out now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. On play action, now Rodgers. Over the middle, complete. That's Warren. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. And Freiermuth going to have a Steelers 1st down as he'll get this up to midfield. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. Running left, it's Warren. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. It shows you right there, he can do more than just cover in the secondary from that free safety position.
Yeah, the evolution of the position has really been significant, hasn't it? Because a lot of teams no longer have a free safety, strong safety designation. They just have safeties. So wherever the ball is, one can be close to the line of scrimmage, one can be deep, and vice versa. On that play, how about that tackle we just saw? Pretty nice.
And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 31-yard line. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Now 2nd and 5. To throw, it's Rodgers. And here's Freiermuth again. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. And the Steelers on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Up the middle they go. Warren. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
This has been a tremendous drive to this point, and this is all you want, playing with a lead in the fourth quarter. If you can keep the ball on the ground, keep the sticks moving, you're going to be in good shape to finish this one off.
Rodgers now to throw. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Throwing now is Rodgers. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. Here's Rodgers. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Steelers are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. Going for the knockout punch. They'll try and run. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Jalen Warren, a 10-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this fourth quarter.
Sometimes you get a 1st and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on 1st down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Extra point now by Boswell. And the lead is up to 14. So that drive spans 13 plays, and it was finished off with a 10-yard touchdown scamper. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Jackson and the Ravens, here they come. Down by 2 touchdowns. 1:50 to play. It's been a struggle to score all day, and now they need to do it twice here late to have a chance. Here's Jackson. They set up the screen for Henry.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got them aware that they can throw a screen at them, maybe to slow the pass rush down a little bit, and they can throw it downfield.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Jackson to throw. That is caught, Bateman. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
That's really good play design right there, and it's one that comes down to the offensive line. It's a deep in route. but it's only going to work if that line gives you time in the pocket to wait for the route to develop. Mission accomplished there as they pick up the first down.
Jackson. He'll find Bateman once more. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. Throwing, Jackson. Complete to Likely. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 21.
This is going to be a corner route to their tight end, and I'll tell you what, it's man coverage, so that makes it hard for a linebacker to stay with him. And he's able to make the catch on the right side of the field and pick up the first down.
This is 1st and 10. Jackson. Caught left side, Hopkins. Ravens going to use their third and final timeout as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the fourth. Here's 1st and goal. Now Jackson. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
A lot of practice time, a lot of thinking goes into 2-minute drills, even on the defensive side. So now you want to make sure the guys understand. Continue to be aggressive, but make sure you're smart in doing so.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. To throw again is Jackson. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal. Now it's Jackson. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining.
Great defense there on 3rd and goal. They took away everything. Forced him to fire that one to the sideline where no one could get it.
Here it is. 4th and goal. Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. And it's caught. He's got it for a late touchdown, but probably a little too late. It would take a miracle of epic proportions if they're going to pull this one off. Problem for them, they needed that score with a little more time left on the clock. I think just too little too late now.
I would agree with that, and we're programmed never to say never. But in this case, we're asking a lot for them to even think they have a chance.
So this likely just to get the final score a bit closer given the time remaining, but they'll have a go for 2 here. One last shot for Jackson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. It's picked by the linebacker, T.J. Watt.
Well, I don't think it takes much to crawl into their mind, right, why they went for 2 there, even though they were unsuccessful. With this type of a lead, what they're worried about, right, and less than 10 seconds on the clock, what they're worried about is just giving up the touchdown.
Yeah, on the kickoff return.
Yeah, so you go for it here to try and ensure yourself. Now they've got to make sure they cover it, otherwise they could actually lose.
So with just a few ticks left, they need a miracle. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now This game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we talked so much about the turnover battle determining who wins and who loses. This game, no exception. They didn't turn the ball over at all, and they go on to victory.
They look like a smooth operation in this one, didn't they? Because you look at every facet of the game, they handled their business. Offense took care of the football, converted it into points. Defense took the ball away, gave it back to the offense. Special teams, right there with them. That's the type of game a coach is going to really love and value. And when they show the film, they have to be careful not to give out too many kudos and kill their motivation going forward.
And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.